Hey y'all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the South, more specifically, New Orleans, Louisiana. Here at the street corner, I'm at one of the most darkest, disturbing locations in American history. This is the notorious LaLaurie Mansion, home of socialite Delphine LaLaurie. Now, Madame LaLaurie was, of course, a rich French woman who lived here in New Orleans and lived right there in that mansion. She was actually reported by I guess, neighbors that claimed that she was mistreating her slaves. I guess someone called like slave protective services, because apparently that was something you could do. But the authorities came and investigated her for mistreating her slaves, but it was determined that she did not, and then the allegations were unfounded. However, later a fire would break out at this mansion, and when the locals and the firemen came, they would rush in there, try to save everyone inside, try to save all the property, try to save the slaves. And what they found was that the fire had been started by a slave that had been chained to the stove in the kitchen. She had started the fire as a way of committing suicide because she had been chained to that stove and tortured and forced to make every meal and live chained to a stove. Furthermore, it gets way, way darker than that. When they went up into the attic, they found the most horrific sight imaginable. There was slaves up there chained to the wall, being tortured, having their insides mutilated. There's even some rumors that her and her husband were doing bizarre experiments, medical experiments on the slaves. There's all sorts of different horrific accounts. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can Google it, but it goes into some serious dark territory. Of course, locals were outraged at this atrocity, and Madame LaLaurie snuck back to France, where she lived out the rest of her life without ever being held accountable for the horrible things that she did to slaves in this mansion. And recently, this mansion actually belonged to famed eccentric Nicolas Cage, who apparently in his manic spending spree purchased this mansion and later lost it when he went bankrupt. Now, I don't know who currently owns this or what its function is, but it's never been open to the public, never been a museum or a monument or anything like that. It would seriously be very interesting to go in there and see around. All right, that's some dark stuff, some heavy stuff I just laid on you. So I appreciate you guys watching.